And I am very excited to talk about this. Theme parks across Southern California are ready to reopen as soon as the state issues new health guidelines for reopening, which is exactly what we heard them say in July when they decided to not reopen. Executives for Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld announced the parks are ready to safely reopen during a theme park roundtable in Orlando. California theme parks have been closed since mid-March. They are awaiting guidance and reopening protocols. Of course, Disney World and Universal Studios, both in Orlando, have been open with modifications for a bit now, and we haven't heard of any super spreading or outbreaks from the parks in Florida. In fact, at the end of July, health officials in Florida said no outbreaks have been linked to any of the big three parks. That was according to Bay News 9, and some may have watched the news conference just to hear it for themselves. A health official said some isolated cases mentioned in the park, but really no outbreaks. Is that enough for you, though? Data, like everywhere, but especially from Florida during the pandemic, has been inconsistent. And Andy, I think you said this. We would want to know if there was an outbreak, and maybe if you're outdoors, you're wearing a mask, you're keeping your distance. I think I got sick at Disneyland in February, but I didn't get, the antibodies would be gone by now. And obviously I didn't know about COVID-19 being here in the States February 9th, or at least I didn't think it would be my problem. But how in...
Two things out of that. I think we just had an acknowledgement that you were actually sick. I think that's what that was. Secondly...
Yeah, I was reading the script you wrote, but that's fine.
I want to think we would know if there was a big outbreak at these places. I want to think that. I want to think that information would be of interest to the journalists down there in Central Florida. But I don't know. Yes. I can't.
Well, I saw about a month ago, and I'm glad you wrote this into the script because I was going to ad-lib it if you didn't, the news conference with Florida health officials, and they were specifically coming out to talk about the possibility of or the impact theme parks reopening have had on the hospitals and the healthcare system. And they said, it hasn't. It has not had an impact on us.
Yeah.
So either everyone is being respectful because they know the risk if they don't follow the protocols, or, you know, I don't know, but it's a good thing.
Well, so much of the data that really says it's about people in congregate living situations, and this is not just for Florida, this is for everywhere in the United States, and I'm assuming beyond, it's that if you are in an enclosed space where there's not good air circulation with somebody who is sick, then you're probably going to get sick. And there are enough of those situations happening. There's enough of those clusters of people either in nursing homes or even in large large families that live in one home, where those are spreading situations or spreading events. But, you know, like we've said, outdoor activities seem safer because of the volume of air. If you're keeping your distance and wearing your mask, seems safer. So maybe this is a good example for how these places can get these people back to work if they want to go back to work. Because I think that's the end of the thing. It's like, yes, Disney will be fine. Universal will be fine. But all of those people who are out of work, it's like, get them back to work. Everyone's going crazy here. If they want, they feel safe. So I also, as a last sort of note on that.
Digging. So I was like, over here.
Oh, the idea of a round table of like Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld is so funny. It's like a comedy sketch because it would be like Mickey would be Disney, obviously. There'd be like a whale for SeaWorld that'd be sitting there. And then for Universal, it'd just be like a stepdad in a mullet and a dirty Jaws t-shirt with like a cigarette.
I'm for sure thought you were going to say Harry Potter. Because Glenn so beautifully delivered a Harry Potter tease today, even though you could tell he had no idea what he was talking about.
And not because he's not a good journalist, but because he's a good adult.
Yes.
He's a successful adult and hasn't spent his life in a fantasy land like everyone in our generation. You know, you're right. And then when they came back and did the story from the break, Lou and Glenn were like, we don't know what muggles are. She was like, well, I'm sure there's a millennial in the newsroom who would be able to tell me what that is. And I guess somebody talked to her in her ear and she said, oh, the not magical ones. And so she said, not me and you. So you know, so pretty funny. Yeah, good stuff.